later, have the boys ready.
Okay, we're going to call the August 2nd, 2017 Paco Township Board of Trustees meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's the best Pledge of Allegiance we've had in a long time, so thank everybody.
That was good.
Roll call.
Mr. Malcheski.
Present.
Mr. Galloway.
Here.
Mrs. Luda.
Here.
Approval of the July 17th, July 19th. We had a special meeting and trustees regular meeting.
Mr. Chairman, there was a
You had typos?
typo,
Yep.
yeah. Under audience, Tim Marlowe, I believe that has an E on the end,
Okay.
and
And
then Connie had
I
one.
have chaplain was misspelled in 2 places.
Okay,
Right.
There.
we'll take care of it.
Okay.
It was typed as basically Charlie Chaplin.
Okay, if there was amendments, we'll approve those. Elected official reports, fiscal officer Amy.
Okay. Well, with my cemetery hat on, Dan Davis and I spent the day at the Ohio Cemetery Convention today in Highland Heights, and we learned all kinds of things about cemetery maintenance and columbariums and things like that. So I think it was very worthwhile. It was the first time it was held since I've been involved with the cemetery on east of Columbus. So thank you for allowing me to attend that. Treasurer's report. As of July 31st, we are 58% of the way through the calendar year. The treasury balance for the 20 funds within the township was $6.4 million. Treasury balance includes $1 million in funds set aside for specific projects. Year-to-date expenditures were 43% of the amount appropriated for 2017. Revenue received year-to-date is 71%, including the advance on the second half of the real estate taxes. So we are well within budget. As always, if anybody has any questions, do not hesitate to call my office.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, trustees, I've had several issues with regards to stormwater, so I've been handling those stormwater items, mostly coming out of Quail and finishing up some of the, I guess, punch list items. And then additionally, we finished up on 608, and there is some additional stormwater issues brewing elsewhere. So we're working on that, and I got Tim Miller on top of that. Frank helped me a little bit on that. We had our public, we had a public meeting, our first one ever, on yesterday. So we heard some info on the mixed-use development overlay district, and we get that other topic coming up later on. Besides that, I got nothing else, Connie?
I had 2 very good conversations today about our public meeting yesterday.
Good. Chris?
Similar, and I would also highlight that last Friday all 3 of us were part of the township strategic planning meeting that was held with department heads and staff that we do twice a year. And the purpose of that meeting is to work on long-term planning items with each department in terms of, unlike say a staff meeting where it's the momentary things of that week or that month, some of their pressing issues, we try to look 5-10 years, or 2 down the road in terms of some of their departments and what they expect might be coming down the road, the issues that they want to deal with, be it equipment or other issues. So that was as always, a worthwhile day spent with those department heads.
Good, good. Department reports. Kathy is absent. Fire Department Chief Sabo.
Well, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
For the month of July, we had a total number of runs of 195. That brings our year-to-date of 1,434 runs. In July, we had 8 MVAs, 20 agency assists, 1 fire alarm, 1 wires down call, 29 basic rescues, 78 paramedic rescues, 25 public assists, and 1 structure fire. Our Fire Prevention Bureau, as always, has been busy. They did, in the month of July, 4 plan reviews, 27 annual inspections, 19 follow-up inspections. We had 1 special event inspection, which was the Quail Hollow Country Club fireworks, and 20 fire protection system testing. In our public education department, we installed 3 residential lock boxes, held 3 public relations events, and 2 fire extinguisher trainings in the community. For the month of August, we want you to remember to stand by your oven. According to the National Fire Prevention Association, ranges or cooktops accounted for the majority, 62%, of home cooking fire incidents from 2010 to 2014. Concord Township can add numbers to these statistics. This summer we have responded to several calls for residential fires which happened when our residents walked away from their stoves while cooking. Never leave your oven or stove unattended. Cooking fires can happen in an instant. So just remember to stand by your pan.
Hey, Chief, I got a question for you.
I don't write.
How often do we use our ladder truck?
Our ladder truck responds, auto mutual aid. Our ladder truck was jointly purchased between us and Painesville City. It is stored and housed, and the personnel from Painesville City operate it, and it responds to any structure fire in Concord Township.
How often does it come out though? All structure fires?
All structure fires, and specifically when it's in the area of Cryle and 44 and Auburn, we also pick up a ladder truck from Chardon.
Okay. All right, next question. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Service Department, Frank Kraska.
I don't write them, Frank, I just read them.
Good evening, everyone. This evening, the Service Department will request for the trustees to advertise for a road improvement project that involves the complete replacement of concrete road surface on Gallant Way within the Quail Hollow subdivision. Gallant Way, which was originally constructed around 1994, has developed progressive joint decomposition and has been determined through inspection as being in a stage of failure that requires substantial repair. This improvement will replace approximately 1,000 square yards of concrete road surface and dovetails a 370 square yard road improvement that the township crews completed earlier in July on Hunting Lake Drive. These improvements will double the level of 700 square yards of improvement completed in Quail Hollow during the 2016 construction season. In addition to the Quail Hollow improvements, township crews completed 400 square yards of concrete replacement on Buckboard Lane and subcontracted with Pacheco Construction to complete a similar repair of about 400 square yards on Tiffany Drive. Our crew is currently located in the Kellogg Park Estates on Colleen Drive, where we will complete multiple repairs on Colleen as well as Sheriff. As we have in the past, we are spreading out across the community in order to address areas of greatest need. And that's not all that we've been doing. On a solemn note, we've been pretty active this past month at our community cemetery, both with burials and the assorted follow-up work that is necessary and required at any given time. Today, we just completed chip seal repairs with our Durapatch machine along the entire length of Cascade Road, which was started in July, and we are currently crack sealing roads in the northwest section of Concord, primarily off Hoos Road. The latest update from Carvo Paving Camp has them beginning to repair and resurface Little Mountain Country Club, this subdivision, Hobby Horse Development, Lambton Court, and Tanglewood Trail on Thursday, August 10th. Don't hold your breath. These guys, you know, they change day to day, but that was from Carvo's actually contacted Ted Galucci today, and that's what they are tentatively saying. So we'll keep our fingers crossed if the weather holds up. Maybe we'll be able to meet that target date. I do believe they have till the end of August to
Meet the
meet their
requirements.
requirements in the contract.
Is that requirement a start by the end of the month or finish?
Finish. Yeah, so they claim that it'll only take about a week and a half to get all the functions related to that done. So the big thing is getting them in here and getting them started, so. We'll try to confirm that on August 8th and dispatch letters to the residents acknowledging the schedule as accurately as possible. Motorists and pedestrians may encounter delays and should use caution while traveling in active work zones. Please contact Concord Service Department for additional details on this project or any other service department function that we may be able to help you with. Call 350-3225 or 350-3226 for further inquiries. Have a good night, and we look forward to seeing our residents at the Concord Community Day on August 12th.
Hey, Frank,
Thank you.
do you know when they're going to post the detour signs for the bridge?
I have
On
not
6-way?
heard. I do know that I saw on the utility locates that they started getting locations to put them, so
Okay.
I would imagine it's not too far down the road. It
How about
should be going up.
repaving Auburn Road? You know when the county's gonna do that?
Not
They've been, is Carvo doing that as well?
No, Chagrin Valley Paving's doing that project, yeah. So,
And maybe September then.
yeah.
Okay,
I'll
thank
let you know, though. I'll check in with
Yeah.
Ted on that and see what their time frame is.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Frank.
Zoning Department, Heather.
Good evening. For the month of July, the zoning department processed 45 zoning permit applications and collected $6,900 in fees. Of those zoning permit applications, 10 were for accessory buildings, 1 was for an accessory pavilion, 4 were for additions onto existing single-family dwellings. 1 was for a change in use, a new business coming into an existing building on Cryle Road. 1 commercial building alteration for a tenant build-out over in the Cryle Crossing Retail Center. 9 permits for decks, 2 permits for duplex dwellings, 4 permits for single-family dwellings, 6 permits for fences, and 6 permits for pools, and 1 for a wall sign, which is for a business over in the Cryle Crossing Retail Center. Year-to-date, the office has processed 261 zoning permit applications, and of that, 54 were for new dwellings. In addition, in the month of July, the Board of Zoning Appeals had 2 applications submitted for variance requests, and both of those were approved. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Rec Department, Deborah.
Good evening.
Any event coming up for you?
A little bit.
Okay.
In a week and a half, Concord kicks it up a notch as we celebrate our vibrant and diverse community at Concord Community Day on Saturday, August 12th at the Town Hall campus. This year we've combined all of our festivities into one delightful, family-friendly day, and it all begins at 8 a.m. with the annual Miller Merritt 5K run and the fire department's pancake breakfast. The Wiffle Ball Home Run Derby starts at 10 a.m. on the ball field. We provide the bats and balls, you provide the wiffle power. Just a few steps away is the frog jump contest for kids of all ages. We provide the frogs, and you provide the whatever it takes to get them to jump. Kids World is back with the popular bungee trampoline and rock wall, along with giant inflatables, the colossal slide, the obstacle course, and so much more. Our legendary Chinese raffle is back, and this year tickets are available for purchase from 10 a.m. through the drawing around 8 p.m. So be sure to peruse the more than 25 baskets brimming with items and gift cards from your favorite local restaurants and stores, including Grand River Cellars, Red Wine and Brew, Oscar Giovanni Salon and Spa, Cleveland Cavaliers, Willoughby Lost Nation Golf Course, Anytime Fitness, Barnes & Noble, Red Hawk, Pub Fredo. I could go on. It's going to be a great Chinese raffle. At noon, our community parade kicks off from the Quail Hollow neighborhood, and I'd like to give a shout out to the Quail Hollow neighborhood for once again graciously welcoming our parade participants. Your kindness and your generosity is most appreciated. Immediately after the parade, grab some lunch at a food truck. Our selections this year are Jimmy's Backyard Barbecue, Tidy Whitey's Burgers and Fries, Frank's Bratwurst, Homestyle Concessions, and Wild Sport with vegetarian options. And for dessert, East Coast Custard is back, along with kettle corn and shaved ice. Craft beer sales begin at noon, and you can choose from 10 different varieties. At 1 p.m., kids will love the interactive toy trains where they become the engineers who run the trains, and Connie's Little Hangar is back this year with a toy plane activity. The family dog band takes the stage with folksy, family-friendly entertainment. And at 2 p.m., Outback Ray presents a live animal show in the main tent with special guest SpongeBob the Big Yellow Snake. Our Old Stone School will be open for tours from 2 to 4 p.m. And then everyone is encouraged to attend the award ceremony at 3:30, where we honor the Citizen of the Year and 4 Concord Community Day scholarship winners. And Uncorked, our wine tasting event, begins at 4 p.m. with Gitano's Jazz Trio. Enjoy fine wines from vineyards including M. Cellars, Lalure, Sharon James, Maple Ridge, Laurentia, and more. Take a ride in a tethered hot air balloon anchored at the soccer field from 6 to 9, and put on your party shoes because Samrata will rock the house or tent beginning at 7 p.m. And when the band takes the break about 8 p.m., the lucky winners will be drawn for the Chinese raffle baskets. Then Sumrata takes the stage back so you can dance the night away until the fireworks begin around 10 p.m. What a day. You know, this year marks our 46th annual Community Day celebration. And I'm pleased to report to everybody that the Recreation Department has worked passionately and diligently to make this event a fun, joyful celebration for all Concord residents. So I encourage everyone to come out and just enjoy it. Just enjoy the wonderful tradition that is Concord Community Day. So all of this information and more is on our website at concordtwp.com or call us at 440-639-4650. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Sheriff's Department. And Sherwood.
Good evening. For the month of July, we had 1,485 calls for service, 8 of which were injury accidents. I'm sorry, 5 were injury accidents, 8 property damage accidents, several arrests, juvenile male for domestic violence, adults for disorderly conduct, adult female, another adult female for theft of a motor vehicle, adult male for a protection order violation, and 3 other men for DUIs and domestic violence. We had 227 crime prevention numbers that were pulled, 36 citations for moving violations, 148 warnings for moving violations, 6 drivers for driving under suspension, and 4 OBI cases.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move into our audience portion. We're going to do, since we have so many here, we're going to do a 3-minute limit. I'll have my little phone here timing us. Please try to be courteous. You know, yesterday it was somewhat surprising, at least to myself. So let's be as courteous as we can so that we can make it through this. So with that, who would like to speak?
I would.
Thank you, Bob.
I'm Bob Patterson, 10940 Girdle Road, Concord. We've been through a lot the past month and a half, 2 months, and I just wanted to make sure I understand where the trustees are coming from. So I'll repeat some things that I was told by the trustees to make sure I'm right. And basically, what I understand is the money that the JED is generating, you want to use to build a town center that looks somewhat like Hudson, or whatever the analogy was, Hudson or Chagrin Falls, and see that area grow. You're going to have commercial, offices, high-end retail, restaurants, and high-density housing behind this area. And as the JED grows, it'll throw off more money for the trustees, right? You're at $600,000 a year now. You're probably going to be at $1 million a year after the nursing home gets in and a few other facilities. And the issue I take with that is, for a good month now, I've been saying, take that money, don't put it in infrastructure improvements, put it in the bank, put it in your general fund. In Concord Township, we've never had a situation where we're throwing off $600,000 a year to up to $1 million a year, and probably go to $2 million a year if we get more businesses in there. So my understanding is you want to put that money back in roads improvement, town center, swimming pool, whatever. That's a quick wash for it. I also understand from some commercial real estate developers that you've been turning away, and Chris mentioned a prefab concrete company turned away, And I found out about it, some other companies that were turned away. They were manufacturing, heavy, kind of like truck traffic and everything, and you told the real estate salesman that you want office and commercial, not heavy manufacturing. So correct me if I'm wrong on that. I know when I was trustee, we would have given our right arm to get some manufacturing in there because I believe it's the steady flow of income to the township without a lot of problems. You put high-density residential in, and you weren't there, Paul, in the meeting, but Chris said that you're going to have the ability and you will tax not only the people working in the commercial areas, but you'll also tax the people living in the high-density residential area to offset the demands for infrastructure, fire, road, and so forth. I look at this, I try to project down the road 20, 30 years like you guys were doing, and all I see is, I see it getting bigger and bigger, and more taxes are getting thrown off, but the more taxes that are thrown off, the more you got to put into your infrastructure and development. So it's like a vicious cycle that's feeding on itself, and that's where I just don't understand why you want to do that. Why not just take the money and run? Put it into roads, make everybody happy, get over it.
Okay. Okay.
Do you have an answer, or?
We're going to go to next, and then we'll address those.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll address those, Bob. Thank you.
Okay, I'll watch you on TV. I gotta go. I didn't eat today.
Okay.
Good night. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Bob.
We'll wait for you to get back there.
Okay.
Okay, anybody else? Thank you, sir. Just please state your name and address.
Brian Massey, 8196 Rainbow Drive. I attended the zoning board meeting last night, and a couple things concerned me. I was just wondering if the board of trustees could address it. In attendance was the landowner and his attorney. You mentioned we spent $1 million on 7 acres. We've gone out for an RFP on 107 acres. When the attorney heard that, he stood up and he directed his comments at the board to say, we've got an agreement already. So I don't know all of the details, but I am concerned there's some potential liability and some lawsuits that may be addressed if we are going against an agreement that is already in place. That's what I inferred from the conversation from the attorney. So could you address that, and maybe also address, I know you told me before the meeting, but how can we own 7 acres and go out for an RFP on 107? It's a little confusing to me.
Sure.
Thank you. That's
Thank you. All right, we'll address it in a little bit. Next. Anyone else over here? Denny, you look like you want to come up. Come on up.
It's my turn.
Sure, it's your turn.
Hi, my name is Denny Cruz. I'm at 7291 Mountain Quail Place. I've lived in Concord for 27 years. I think you know how I feel.
Sure.
I think this should be stopped dead until which time we could really take a look at it as a community, no matter how long it takes. But that being said, is the plan to the 7 acres purchased in the new area, is the plan to move the town hall, this town hall there?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
And I know we're supposed to wait there, but absolutely not.
Okay, well, so what exactly, I guess my question is, what kind of a town hall feature are you talking about? If you could just explain that and maybe elaborate on that a little bit sometime this evening.
All right, thank you.
All right,
Will do.
thank you.
All right, next row.
Go ahead.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Bill Wigan, 11895 Girdled Road. My hearing aid just went off, so I hope I'm not saying anything that has been already said. But I think we've got a little bit of housekeeping to do before we go into a new plan. If you're traveling west on Concord Hamden and have to make a left-hand turn onto Auburn, you cannot see the traffic coming up through that dip. And that's probably a county issue. That's probably a county road. But that needs to be graded so that you can see. The very easiest you get out of there is maybe the finger by pulling out so far that then anybody that's going down Concord Hamden, they have to swing way out around to get in there. That needs to be addressed. And then you do have a sign coming out, a Fidel by the gas station, but you need another couple signs here by Key Bank. And it goes against logic to point 44 and 90 north, you know, to be pointing this way, but you're not going to go that way and get to 44 or 90. So maybe a couple more signs there may say. The other day, there was one fella, probably not from Concord, but made 2 or 3 sachets between the lanes. He didn't know where he was going. I think he wanted to go 44, but he pulled into one of the office buildings down there, made a turn, and then went back out. So a couple of signs might help. And then I've mentioned this before, and I still think it's feasible, unless there's some safety reason for it, to close Trial Road at the south end, because it's such a short drive up to this turnaround and come up on roads that are halfway decent. You've got gridlock there. Every day there's gridlock there that somebody will not allow cars that are coming either direction to go down Trial. They will not allow it. The drivers are probably from Madison. I don't think they're from Concord. But
Thank you.
I think that would really save a lot of frustration, because I've seen semis that want to take a load of lumber into 84 lumber, and they're waiting there and they can't go anywhere, and the people will not allow them to get in. So it's a minor adjustment to go down to the new intersection and go back and backtrack. I wrote the previous administrator and I never got an answer on it, but the problem is still there.
Okay.
And then last but not least, it wasn't mentioned yet, but the bike path. I don't know what you've got in store for that.
That's the Metro Parks, but we were talking.
But that's, I've parked at the top of Ravenna Road, and I've seen mothers with little push carts, whatever you call them. They're not push carts, but they're carriers.
Strollers.
Strollers, thank you. But if you had a situation like that, if that bike path is coming down Concord Hamden and then going down here and catching this, that's a accident waiting to happen.
Understand.
In my estimation. Unless you, maybe possibly an overhead bridge, a lot of expense, but in my estimation, those things are history and they should be dealt with before we go into this new situation. And they're pretty easy fixes. They're pretty easy. That could be, you're never going to solve everything. There's always going to be somebody that's confused with the traffic pattern, you know, if it's unknown to them.
Thank you.
And then regarding this deal that we're dealing with now, last night's meeting was a tragedy. There were just so many ideas thrown out, and really thrown out. But in that group, you've got people that would be very happy in apartments. You've got people that would be very happy in condominiums. The millennials, I don't think, from what I've understood, they are not interested in homes. They don't want to stay home and take care of a big yard the way my generation and your generation is done. They don't want that. They want their weekends free, and I heard it mentioned here earlier. They want to go to the nightclubs and the bars and things, and you're never going to satisfy anybody, and I'm old enough to know that time heals. I do remember when Brightwood went in.
Sure.
That was going to be the downfall of Concord.
Bill, thank you.
And it has solved, you know, it's gone by the way, and
All right,
you
Bill.
never hear it brought up.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Sorry for the rest.
Hi,
Hi.
Lisa Loconti, Loconti, 8140 Mount Royal Drive. You'll be happy to know I don't have a ton to say tonight, but I just wanted to say, you know, I was at the meetings yesterday and I was really shocked when I came in here and I saw Eric Reisinger, this developer from Chicago. He spoke for 50 minutes. We each got 3. And my question is, I mean, it's not a question, I know you're holding the questions until later, but I mean, are we really going to let a guy from Chicago come out and develop Concord Township? I mean, I know I'm a small town girl, but really? You know, he said we, and I took offense to that because he's not we, want a walkable neighborhood. I was never asked that. I don't want a walkable neighborhood. And he said the market wants this. Like, who says so? The last survey taken overwhelmingly said no to this. So, he referenced, I would have never looked this up, but he referenced a development called Glen Town Center. I looked it up when I was sitting right here, and then I thought this can't be true, so I went home and did a ton more research on it. I can't find an article to prove that it's not true. He cited, last night there was only one development. This is Reisinger's, it's a huge company. I mean, I saw all of the things that they do, but of all that they cited, one, Glen Town Center, ironically, they should have done their homework. This is according to Crane's Chicago Business in an article from May 21st, 2014, stating that that development was repossessed by the lender and sold back to the bank for a fraction of what was owed to the bank. I mean, I couldn't believe it. And that's who we have coming in here, not only a person from Chicago, but he's referencing something that completely went under. I was shocked. Then he talked about these like words that bug me, live, work, play. And one of the girls from, I don't remember her name, she was on the BZA, she came up and she was one of the, I think there were 4 people out of everybody that was in here yesterday, however many people you could stuff in here, that was for it. And she was like, I was in downtown Willoughby and, you know, it's great. Well, if you go to downtown Willoughby and you look at Riverwalk Development, which is adjacent to it by downtown Willoughby, there's a sign that says live, work, play. And it's really pretty, like you want to be with those people, okay? There's some pretty people, they look like they're having fun. And behind it is the development of Riverwalk Apartments that is a total dump. And everybody that lives around there knows that it's a dump. You can hear it through the walls. So, you know, yesterday I read this thing from Jim Tracus. Jim Tracus, I want to reread it for people that haven't had a chance to hear it. Chris, you know that I saw it on on your Facebook page. I can't see it anymore. Perhaps it's hidden or just shown to certain people, whatever. But Jim Tracus is a councilman at large in the city of Independence. And he said the following. And I don't know why this wasn't heeded, and I don't know why anybody that was in charge of a township wouldn't heed this warning. He said, be careful. So many developers expect the taxpayers to subsidize their investments. Independents found this out. So many want to use TIFs, public tax dollars, to pay for their investment and land donations. Essentially, no risk and all profit. I urge you to set parameters about public participation before you go out for proposals. We did not, and found out that someone was willing to build a mixed-use project and profit from it, but didn't put much of any cash on the barrelhead to actually invest in the project. Urging caution. And of course, then again, this post was removed, which I found disturbing. So, you know, we all know there's a lot of residential property here in Concord Township, and I'll close. I am not against residential. I am against residential in this commercially zoned district, and I know that there's residential that was already passed in the dark of night in 2015, and so I know that there is, but I don't know if any developer will take it the way that it is, which is why we're here today. Along with that passing of the residential in this zoned area was the purchase of the 7 acres for $1 million. Thank you to Defend Concord for bringing light to this issue, or I think we would probably have 3 or 4 people in this room again. So thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Christel Zucca, 8130 North Orchard Road. I'll be brief. I think the message was, needless to say, loud and clear last night. There is a groundswell now of citizens that are concerned about this project that I hope you don't ignore. I just have a question for you. Are you going to bring this to survey? Are you going to get the input from the community that you haven't to date? That's all I want to know.
Thank you. Anybody else? Vanessa?
Hi, Vanessa Pesic, 11705 Cali Court. I know that the setting of the public hearing is on the agenda, and I did also attend the zoning commission meeting last night, and was revealed that not only will this mixed-use development take away our precious commercial space because we're adding high-density residential housing to that area, taking away the commercial space, but the surrounding commercial property owners also oppose this mixed-use project because they feel that it's going to make it much less likely that they can attract the new commercial and light industrial manufacturing to move into our area and into this area. So to me, that is really, really critical. With only 8% commercial, we desperately need to save that and make sure that we bring in businesses that will generate revenue. We need to generate revenue, and currently the project looks like it will decrease revenue, which increases the taxes for all of us. I absolutely support development, smart, revenue-generating business districts and business development in this business district. I also support residential development where it is currently zoned residential, and I usually, in most cases, oppose increasing in density in these residential areas. So I too hope that you will stop this project and get the input from all of the residents who really want to be heard on this issue before anything goes further. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right. I'm going to close the public portion of the meeting.
The audience portion.
Audience portion.